Coming off the back of a very disappointing United States Grand Prix, Pierre Gasly will be very pleased with pole position in Interlagos, beating Sebastian Vettel by 0.2 of a second. The Frenchman's hopes will have been revived after feeling rather down when his teammate Verstappen took the win in the first round of the 2017 season. With the front row occupied by a Red Bull and a Ferrari, the second row was looking identical too, with Max Verstappen taking third and Daniel Ricciardo in fourth. With Ferrari's much more improved qualifying pace compared to last season, they hope not to be held up by either of the Red Bulls and truly show their pace tomorrow. In fifth was the world champion Stoffel Vandoorne, with a solid qualifying from Antonio Giovinazzi, who put his Toro Rosso in sixth. The fourth row was taken up by the other McLaren and Toro Rosso, Hamilton leading Sainz by 0.3 of a second, with yet another poor qualifying from the Mercedes, seeing their drivers struggle with balance and consolidated with 9th and 10th position. The question for tomorrow and the rest of the season is simple: can Mercedes return back to the front to challenge for the World Championship titles? Next up, it's a Brazilian Grand Prix.
What's going on, guys? Over here. Welcome back to my F1 MyDriver career mode, episode number 2 today for season 3 at the Brazilian Grand Prix. If you did miss the first episode, the opening round of the season at USA, then go click that annotation card on the top right now. You can go check that out. And I need to say a huge thank you to you guys once again for the amazing support on that episode. It was crazy to see the number of actual likes within 24 hours. It was absolutely nuts. So thank you guys very much for that and all the awesome comments. It was great to read through those. But we're back for episode number 2 today at a very overcast Brazilian Grand Prix. Improved qualifying from the last round, you must say, relative to the last round, but still quite poor. We're next to one of the Toro Rosso cars and right behind, I think, the McLaren of Lewis Hamilton. So, again, a very poor performance in qualifying. Hopefully, we can improve in the race. Generally, we are improving in the race pace compared to the qualifying pace. It's going to be a 3-stop today. Let's see what we can do out there. We go to 5 red lights for the Brazilian Grand Prix. 36 laps ahead of us today. Let's see what we can do. We are underway, and Wehrlein behind me gets a good start. We've got Schumacher on the left as well, making a good start, darting around in my mirrors. Wehrlein goes to the left-hand side. He's going to block me off a little bit, so we're going to have to try and just stick in the middle here. We'll go behind him. He goes side by side with Sainz, makes a little bit of contact there, and Sainz gets a bit of a tank slapper as we try and maybe look around the right. That's not going to work. We now move to the left, slipstream Wehrlein a little bit, use that to help us out. We're going to get past him, maybe down the inside of Sainz as well, as we got a really big scrap up ahead of us of Hamilton, Vandoorne going side by side with Giovinazzi, and we'll see what we can do. We've got past Sainz, so we'll run up towards the hill. Look at that, side by side the Ferraris are there. You can see Gasly goes up the hill in first place, already getting a bit of a gap, and we've really caught up to Hamilton, who's been held up by his teammate. We go down the inside, feed it through, go side by side through this section. Will we try and hang around the outside? Can we do this? We'll just try it, and we'll just about get it, I think, as Hamilton will try and hold on, but it's no use. We come down the inside of this corner, and we're up into 7th place, and Vandoorne and Giovinazzi still going side by side there, and Vandoorne just gets a better measure of him, and looks like Gio has lost the back end a little bit, a bit of smoke there on the left-hander, and he loses it, and so we go down his inside. He's just still on the side-by-side with us. He gets good traction off on the right-hand side, so we're side-by-side with him now as we go down the back straight towards lap 2, and he's look at the straight line speed he's got. He's got some great pace in that turquoise Toro Rosso as Gasly sets fast lap of the Grand Prix, so Gasly really showing the muscles right now in the Red Bull car. Needs to prove himself, obviously, after a really poor first round at USA, but we've got past Gio there into turn 1, and we're up into 6th place, and now we can try and chase down Stoffel Vandoorne, but a great scrap up ahead, which could help us out, as obviously if they're battling, giving each other dirty air, that could help us out, but getting back to us, Gio goes down our inside now, so the battle's not done with the Toro Rosso. We go side by side. He's going to get good traction, and he'll just about swing it ahead of us, and we have to tuck in, but we'll get some more slipstream. So again, up the hill, can we try and get him down the inside? Not in the first part, but the second apex, we get good traction down the inside once more, just like we did against Lewis Hamilton, and once again, we're going to have to try and swing it around the outside of this swooping left-hander, around the Italian man in the Toro Rosso, and we'll just about get it on the exit. Good traction, and we should get the inside line for this next corner, and it's all good. We hit the apex, and we've squeezed him out, and we're up into 6th place. So good stuff from right now. The car's feeling good right now at this opening stages of the race. Of course, in qualifying at lower fuel, the car really is out of balance, but on heavier fuel, the car suddenly just gains a bit of more balance. It just feels a lot more comfortable to drive. So doing well at the moment on lap 3, and as we go into up the hill section, the two Ferraris have made some contact. I think there's been some smoke and maybe some grass has been kicked up as they go side by side. Ricciardo and Vettel, the two old teammates from Red Bull, battling out now in the Scuderia Ferrari team, and they're going side by side. Vettel not giving anything up as he goes down the inside. We get oh so close to Ricciardo's rear end there as we get a bit too eager. We're gonna have to wait here and try and see what we can do as Vettel Oh, Vettel goes very slow on the initial part of that swooping left-hander and just about didn't make any contact with us as he almost brake checks us in the middle part of that. So very, very close. We move on to lap 4 now, the very next lap. And again, Vettel right on the back of Ricciardo. Looks like he's going to maybe get caught sleeping here as he's tried to make a move on Ricciardo. We make a move on him. We've locked up horribly there. That's helped us out a little bit. And once more, in this same exact place, we try and go side by side with the car. And we go on the curbing there. Vettel giving us just about enough room. Hopefully we can get the move done down the inside, but you can see on the left-hand side, Vettel gets a beautiful exit and goes right around the outside, gets back into 5th, but he's got a poor entry into the next part of the section, and so he goes deep into the next corner. Look at that, gone really deep, and now we go down the inside of him once more, and we're up into 5th place, and he'll get the slipstream, but we should be able to at least relax a little bit and try and see what we can do into turn 1 now, as he's being chased down by Toro Rosso as well, so that may be a factor as well, if Gio can maybe get in his mirrors a little bit and hamper him, but he's trying it right in the mirror, as you can see, but we've locked up so badly there on the left front, and Vettel goes right around the outside as we go side by side. He's going to get us on the exit, and once again we have to try and hope we get some good slipstream. We'll have DRS. I think it's going to be lap 4 or lap 5 right now, so we'll have DRS. We swoop down the inside. Hamilton's done the same to the Toro Rosso behind us. We'll go down the inside, we'll touch, we'll make contact a little bit, we bash tyres, we go side by side down towards this uphill section once again, and I think behind us Hamilton's going side by side with Giovinazzi as well, so beautiful racing right now at Brazil. We'll swing it around the outside, but Vettel gets great momentum there, and we try something, but then at the last minute I just spot that the Toro Rosso has tried to make a cheeky move down my inside. So Gio not giving up here, you know, new to Formula 1 from GP2, but he's got no worries about it. He's just going to try down the inside of me in the Mercedes car. So Gio narrowly missed some contact with him. I just about spotted that late in my peripheral vision there on the right hand side, so I didn't make the move on Vettel. That's unfortunate, but we'll move on to the very next lap, and hopefully we can try and line up a move now through turn 1 and 2 there, the center S's, and we'll get the DRS flowing. Right now we're in rich mix, you can see as well, so using the fuel right now, but we might have to save some fuel later on if we keep in rich mix. But on lap 6 I really want to try and close up to Vettel and try and overtake him, and through this swooping left-hander we really gain so much time there. Great traction. Can we make a move on the right hand side? Vettel's going to try and block us off. Where is he going to go? He's going to stay on the left. We're going to try it down the inside. He's going to give us the room. Fair play to him, and he actually backs off quite a lot, and that allows, I think that's the Toro Rosso. Yeah, I think the Toro Rosso goes side by side with him. Yeah, Giovinazzi trying to take Sebastian Vettel round the outside there. Go on, son. But we're up into 5th place here, and I think we may have this move done and booked. So now we cut later on as we come into the pit lane, that very end of that last lap there. So we're into the pits. This will be for another set of option tyres. So of course, as you saw at the beginning of the episode, we're going for a 3-stop strategy. Option, prime there. So I think that's probably going to be the best option. We're doing a bit of an undercut here because it looks like a lot of the guys, yeah, there's no one in the pit lane behind us, so we have done quite a big undercut here, at least by one entire lap. So let's see how this undercut works. The team did tell me to pit in the very next lap, but I thought, let's try this. Let's get some clean air and let's see how it goes. And as you can clearly see, if we look around us, there's going to be plenty of clean air. I think we're actually last right now on the track. Yeah, we're on our P20 right now, so we've got plenty of clean air to go. Let's just push hard and see what we can do as we cut later on into the next few laps. We move on towards lap 9, so we should see where we filter out in all the orders. People come into the pits right now, so we set the fast lap of the Grand Prix as well as we do it. So good pace in the Mercedes right now on these fresh tyres. And as we come through the 2 turns, Vettel in 10th behind us, and Gasly's the next name above us in 8th place. So could this mean we've potentially undercut maybe the next Ferrari, which is Ricciardo, and Verstappen, wasn't it, in the Red Bull? So let's see as we come across now onto lap 10. Lynn in the pits, Verline in the pits, our teammate. So Verline really not doing a great job at the moment in the Brazilian Grand Prix. But we come across, we're in 3rd, now 4th. We come through the center S's up into 2nd place. Verstappen is 3rd behind us, and Ricciardo we saw on the pit lane. So it looks like we have jumped Verstappen and Ricciardo, and we're 2nd place right now in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Absolutely fantastic stuff just from a 2-lap undercut there. Now we cut to lap 15, the very next pit stop now. So nothing really happened in that 2nd stint, just pushing on, and you can see there going past us on the left was Ricciardo and Max Verstappen. So we kept them on it, they kept us honest, you know, 2 seconds behind us the entire time. But unfortunately we weren't able to catch Gasly, who is a constant 2 seconds ahead of us. But the crucial thing is he didn't really get away from us. So looks like right now with the sun beaming out, right now the track conditions are working really well for us, and it looks like we're quite competitive actually. And with the undercut, we're doing wonders right now to gain time on these guys out of nowhere. Basically we're just gaining free time just by doing an early pit stop. As we come out right now, you can see on the Williams, I think it might be Rosberg there. Yeah, I think it's Rosberg with those turquoise gloves. But we come out, so hopefully we can just try and overtake him, and then we'll have some fresh air ahead of us. We can push on again for another good undercut, because I think we gained about at least 5 seconds, I want to say, in that first pit stop with the undercut. So who's to say we can't do the same again as we come through on lap 16 up the hill. We'll go down the inside of Rosberg, who might be struggling on those worn option tyres, and we're up into 10th place right now. Giovinazzi ahead of us in 9th place, who's yet to make a pit stop. So just showing early on, you know, Giovinazzi was right behind us, and now he's ahead of us, you know, pretty much nearly a pit stop down. So just showing how much of an undercut and, you know, how much of a gain you can get by doing the undercut here in Brazil. As we come through lap 18 now, up into 5th place. Van Dorn behind us. Ricciardo once again right there in the pit lanes. We come through turn 2, and Wehrlein there in 3rd place. So just showing again, Wehrlein yet to pit, and we're, you know, catching up to him. So he's really doing a shocking job right now in the Brazilian Grand Prix compared to myself. As we come through on lap 19 through turn 1, you can see there, we're into 1st place of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Gasly is behind us. Verstappen is 3rd. We have undercut both Red Bulls here, and we are leading the Brazilian Grand Prix. I didn't think I would be saying that at the beginning of this episode. That's absolutely crazy to see the undercut doing so much of a difference here. But now cutting on towards lap 20, Gasly, obviously with great pace in that Red Bull, is storming up down my inside. He's going to try and make a move down the inside. He's really outbroken us quite well there. Can we try and hang around the outside? I try my best, but we're just going to give up the place there as we cut across the curb, as we just didn't have the traction to keep it up there down the inside of Gasly. But crucially, we will have DRS on the Frenchman, so can we make a move to get that place back and get back into 1st place? We go down the inside of left-hander. Gasly's going to try and hang around the outside, and it looks like he's just going to do it. Yes, he does. We have to sit back and try and maybe make a move later on in the Grand Prix. Lap 21 now. We're in rich mix at the moment. You can see on the right-hand side the tyre weight's starting to kick in as well. But here we go. Slipstream DRS at the fast lap of the Grand Prix as we do it. Going down the inside of Pierre Gasly into turn 1, where he's going to try and hang it down the inside of the center S. He's done it. We go side by side. Beautiful racing. You fit a piece of paper between us there as we get so close on the front right tyre to his left front. And now we've got DRS crucially, so can we try and just out slipstream the Red Bull? Going to push that Renault engine as hard as it can, and once again Gasly tries around the outside here, but this time looks like we've got the measure of him, and yes we do. As we pan onto that shot, you can see he's clearly lost some time there, went a little bit too deep that time compared to the previous lap, but Gasly really not giving up here. I said that before in the Grand Prix in the episode. Gasly, after such a poor first race, he really needs to try and get this win, but we need to try our hardest to kind of fend off, because this could be an absolutely brilliant result. But into lap 23, we've locked up on the front left as we got a bit of grass on our right tyre. Poor exit onto turn 2, that means, and Gasly is going to get a great run with DRS this time. So it's going to be quite hard. Where is he going to go? He's going to move to the left-hand side, looks like he is, and we're going to stick to the right-hand side, try and keep it around the outside of him into the left-hander. Gasly's going to do well to try and fend me off, but we've got some good traction there. We've got brilliant traction, actually, and we'll try and go around the outside. He's pushed us onto the curb a little bit. We go side by side up towards the hill. A great battle this has been, and it continues on here. Right up the hill. Gasly this time managed to keep up with me. He's still there on the left-hand side, still side by side for almost half this entire sector, but he then gives up into the swooping left-hander, and we're back comfortably into 1st place. So you can see there, we've got a few other cars catching up. I think that must be Ricciardo and then Verstappen there. Yeah, Ricciardo there in 3rd place. So much like USA, we're getting a bit of a train here. You know, the car obviously isn't up to scratch to get away from these guys, and so we're having to do some holding up there. You can see as we come into the pits there on the left-hand side, you saw the 3 of them getting really close to each other. I wonder if Ricciardo is maybe going to battle Gasly, or maybe Verstappen even, so that could be quite tasty for us. But we come in yet again for another earlier stop than everyone else, and there's a Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel coming in as well. So it looks like he's kind of learnt and kind of woken up to the undercut strategy, if you will, and he's coming in on the same lap as me. But we're onto the prime tyres now, so going to the end of the Grand Prix on this set. But once again, as I just mentioned, undercut strategy working out a charm, and hopefully for the 3rd time it should work out pretty good to get us ahead of Gasly and hopefully give us a little bit of a comfortable buffer, I wonder. Let's see as we cut later on into the Grand Prix. Lap 28 now, so 3 laps later after our pit stop. At the moment you can see we have got a gap to Gasly, about maybe 1 second and a bit, but you can see on the right hand side it's 1.5 minus, or 1.4 pretty much now, minus fuel, and I put it down to lean mix because we are heavily underfueled now. I actually mistakenly put it in rich mix for about 10 laps in the middle there when I was fighting Sebastian Vettel, and never took it off after my pit stop. So we've got a bit of an issue here, guys. We need to save fuel big time, but Gasly is only 1 point something down the road. We're putting it up in standard when we're going up the hill and down the 1st sector, obviously with these long straights you can see here on lap 30, but we have to put it in lean in sector 2, so this is going to be very, very tricky as Gasly now comes back at us yet again on the left hand side here with some DRS. Can we try and get a good switchback line here I wonder, like we try to mix Schumacher and USA. Yes, we can get the good stuff there on the left-hand side. We go side by side up the hill. Hopefully we can try and get the measure of Gasly once more as we go up the hill. And yes, it looks like he's going to give up the position, and once again we'll tuck in for first place. And now Verstappen is up in third place, interesting enough. So he's overtaken Ricciardo. So once again, Ferrari probably going to be frustrated there not to even get on the podium, maybe, because it looks like it's going to be a 2-3 for Red Bull, maybe even a 1-2 for Red Bull if I really muck this up with the fuel, because at the moment we're still saving fuel with 2 laps to go. We're still on standard right now in the first sector, but you can see we're still on minus fuel, 0.2 that is pretty much, so we still need to save it with 2 laps to go. And Gasly once again comes on the left hand side. This time I try and squeeze him a little bit, but it doesn't really work out. He's not phased really calm, this driver is, from Gasly. You know, you would think that, you know, he's come up from Toro Rosso, maybe a little bit nervous about being in the big team, especially fighting for the win for the first time in his career, but here he's really keeping calm, and at the moment he's got the measure of us. But now we'll try and switch back, get a good line into this hit corner once more. We've really worked well into this corner, and once again, as we've seen a few times at Grand Prix, trying to hang around the outside, and we get some great traction just on the very end of that corner, and we get it up into first place once more. But we lock up. Is Gasly going to try the switchback? Yes, he does. Gasly tried a beautiful switchback move, so we go side by side here. Going to try and just kind of go a little bit wide, maybe push him here, and we're going to keep first place for now. But Gasly will come back at us on towards the last lap of the Grand Prix, and Verstappen is not too far behind. You can see the proximity arrows right there for Verstappen. We've gone wide into turn 1. We'll go side by side through the second corner on the last lap of the Grand Prix. Bang tyres, bang side pods a little bit, but we've got lean mix right now up into standard, hopefully, and we're just going to get onto optimum fuel mixture. So this is going to be pinpoint fuel management from us. But right now we're in second place. It's the last lap of the Grand Prix. Could we get first place from Pierre Gasly? Can we win the Brazilian Grand Prix? What a story this would be as we run up to the hill once more. Can we get some great traction and great speed through here? Yes, we can. Through the right-hander, we got to go for it. We make a pop down the inside like we've done so many times so far. Hit the curb, go a little bit wide to try and push Gasly a little bit off, and it just looks like we'll just have the measure of him, and this time he can't hang it around side by side with us, so he can't even try and do a switchback move into this next corner. We go down to lean mix because we're still very just on the teetering edge of optimum. We're back up to standards. We go up the hill to the line. Look how close it can be, but we're going to come through to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. What a fantastic story this is. After the dismal performance in USA in terms of our pace, defending all race long, we've done the job. We've made an absolute masterclass undercut strategy work for us, and we fended off one Pierre Gasly, and that has been a great Grand Prix for us. 25 points in the bag. Gasly comes home in second. Ricciardo snags third place just at the end, so great stuff from Daniel Ricciardo to get another podium for his new team there, second in a row. Sebastian Vettel down in fifth behind Verstappen in fourth. Stoffel Van Dorn, the world champion last time out, in sixth place there. And my teammate really poor there, ninth place, just showing how much I'm dragging this car up the grid, because Wehrlein is pretty much showing the pace of what the Mercedes car could do if you really didn't push it and kind of drag it up the grid. So I think that only makes our case better, that we're doing a pretty decent job so far this season, if I do say so myself. But nonetheless, that has been a cracking Grand Prix. What action that was with Gasly, and I really enjoyed that. I hope we have some more battles to come in the season like that with one Pierre Gasly. But guys, if you have enjoyed the video, smash that like button, let me know what you thought in the comments below, and you're around here and subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. That has been episode number 2 of MyDriver Season 3 here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed it, again, hope you guys can let me know in the comments below, and I'll leave you guys with the post-race interviews. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Well, that was an absolutely unbelievable race. Did you ever imagine that you could actually win the race after how you looked in practice and qualifying?
No, not at all. Not at all. Absolutely amazing day for the team, for me, and just I can't explain it really. Just absolutely unbelievable. You know, the car was, you know, not feeling great again in qualifying. We did improve a little bit from last race, but again, lower fuel, the balance wasn't there. But during the race, I'm not too sure, to be honest. I can't really answer that fully. But on today, in time, in history, the conditions were perfect for us, and the car just felt a lot more planted, a lot more hooked up, and I think a lot of it's altered down to our strategy. So I need to say huge thanks to the strategy team for that. You know, making the undercut call, and you know, we're undercutting the Red Bulls and the Ferraris every single pit stop we did, and that really helped us out, because then all we had to do was just defend. And we know from last race, even though maybe it's not what we want to do every single race, we can defend quite well with the car this year, and you know, that's what we had to do. And you know, Gasly put up such a great fight. It was great to battle him for most of the race, and he nearly got us there at the end, but just a great drive through The DRS zone helped out a lot to keep up with him, and then the drive up the hill was great. It was great all race, especially into the right-hander, into the S section, the kind of swooping section. We're always really good into the brake zones there. So yeah, unbelievable day for us, and I think the team, I think all of us need to cherish this, because I'm not sure if it's going to happen again. I think it was a bit of a fluky result, but sometimes you have those things, and yeah, just time to soak it in, really.
Even with this result, you guys will still no doubt be pushing for development, and with the European part of the season beginning next race, can we look forward to some upgrades for your car?
Yeah, we will be bringing updates, hopefully, and obviously every team will be bringing updates, so it's just about us bringing better ones than everyone else can. After the result today, hopefully a result like this, especially with the tough times we started the season, pre-season was absolutely horrible for the entire team. I know there was a lot of long nights, a lot of head scratching going on, and then the first race wasn't exactly what we wanted, defending the entire race long. So a result like this, just makes everything a lot easier for people to come in at 8 AM in Brackley tomorrow morning and working on the car and working on those upgrades and bringing home the trophy. Later on in the week, we'll obviously go see the factory and just bring that trophy home. Will hopefully give everyone that kind of motivation to keep on pushing, and yeah, hopefully we will have updates. As I said, everyone will, but I'm hoping and quietly optimistic that ours can be good enough to try and get back up there, and so we don't have to defend as much and hopefully start attacking people in the race. Yeah.
All right. Cheers for your time.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.